But let's talk about now, back to the energy transition. Not my numbers, the numbers. StatGraph, using statistical review of world energy data. Not my numbers, the numbers. From 2000 to 2022, here's Germany. Germany is spending now around $1 trillion on the energy Wende because they have an idea that they are going to solve climate change. Well, I don't know how they're gonna do it when their share of CO2 emissions of just the 6 largest economies in the world is that small. The US CO2 emissions have declined over that time period. In fact, I'll show you in a minute, the same data on a horizontal bar chart that makes that point even clearer, but look at the skyrocketing emissions in China and India. And tell me, and go slowly because I'm from Oklahoma, I'm a little slow, how it is that this many hundreds of billions of dollars that are that are in the Inflation Reduction Act, much of which is just a total boondoggle. And I use that word, and that is the right word, with the idea that the US is going to lead the world in climate change. We're gonna reduce our CO2 emissions so much that it's going to affect global temperatures. I don't see how that's even possible given this graph. But look at this graph. Look at the same numbers, the exact same numbers, just in a different format. Remarkable, isn't it, to look at them 2 different ways, and it gives you a different resolution on what the numbers mean. Some of the best advice I ever got in terms of my business, I'm a reporter. I've never had a real job. My whole career I've been in the journalism trade. It was from Edward Tufte. He used to teach at Yale, wrote an influential book called The Visual Display of Quantitative Information. He said, whenever you give people a number, give them something to compare it to. Give them a metric that they know. Okay, so I showed you the stack graph. Now here's a bar graph, and here's the US. We've reduced our CO2 emissions largely from gas substituting for coal, not solely. Renewables wind and solar rather, played some role in that. But nevertheless, the US has reduced its CO2 emissions more than any other country in the world. Tell me why it matters when China has increased their CO2 emissions this much. Tell the Germans, oh yeah, you're gonna cure climate change on your own. The hell you are. This is the reality. These are the numbers, not my numbers, the numbers. And why do I say this? What do I think about climate change? Here's my view. Climate change is a concern. It's not our only concern. We have to balance whatever it is we do about reducing emissions with larger concerns for energy security, national security, energy reliability, affordability, because nearly all of this policy with regard to CO2 emission reductions is regressive on the poor and the middle class. All of it hurts the poor and the middle class.